Stop number 4 of the Great American Bash Tour took place in Cleveland, and we would kick off the night with a 6-woman free agent Gauntlet elimination match where the winner would move on later in the night to take on Charlotte Flair for the WCW Women's Championship in the main event. Huge opportunity for these ladies. Kairi, Sane, and Lyra Valkyria would be the first two to kick it off. They would eventually be joined by Thea Hale, Nia Jax, and 2 Hall of Famers, Lita and Molly Holly. And those of you that are familiar with our universe, Lita took advantage of an opportunity like this in year 1 and ended up holding the WWE Women's Championship for 14 months. Huge opportunity here for all these ladies, especially for Nia, Lyra, Kairi, and Thea, as not only are you getting an opportunity to potentially walk out of Cleveland as a world champion, that also means you're going to be walking out with a contract for WCW. Much like our last stop in Boston in the Battle Royal, where Nia makes it to the end, she's one of the final 2 in there. You got to think that the odds are definitely in her favor. But that wouldn't be the case. Lyra would hit Nia with a frog splash off the top rope, hook her leg, and get the 1-2-3. Lyra Valkyria moving on to the main event for a shot at Charlotte Flair and the WCW Women's Championship. And then we would see the WCW television title defended for the first time by the new champion, Otis, and his opponent, Bobby Roode. Bobby, who is still looking for his first championship in the universe, is a former Mr. Money in the Bank, and he would look to try to make Otis's run as television champion a short run. The action would eventually move outside of the ring, and these two would go back and forth. Otis here hitting a big headbutt, and then he's in the process of trying to get Bobby back in the ring, and Roode fights him off and really screws both guys, as neither one able to get back in before the referee's count of 10. This one ends as a double count out. We can announce that the rematch has been signed for Chicago, and it will be a Falls Count Anywhere match. No count outs in that one. Then we had a mixed tag match. Cleveland's own Miz teaming up with his wife Maryse to take on the Hurricane and Mighty Molly. And I know you might be thinking, didn't we see Molly in the first match? Technically, no. It's not been confirmed that Mighty Molly is indeed Molly Holly. We don't know that for sure. They do look very similar, but there is no confirmation that they are indeed the same person. Hurricane there would go for a cover. Miz able to get his shoulder up. We see Molly Holly's athleticism. She thinks she's got Maryse here, but Maryse would grab the rope, break the count. Miz suckers Hurricane here. Got to be a little bit smarter than that, Hurricane. And then Maryse tossing Molly to the mat, covering her and getting the win. Miz, in his homecoming to Cleveland with Maryse, would pick up the win. Then we would see Logan Paul, another maybe not so favorite son of Cleveland, taking on the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Last time we saw Shawn in the open mic universe, WrestleMania 2, where he took on Seth freaking Rollins in an Iron Man match. And in all honesty, for the most part in this one, Shawn Michaels really kind of had the upper hand. He would be teeing up for some sweet chin music, and really more than luck than skill, Logan able to move out of the way, throws a heavy punch to the Heartbreak Kid, only gets a 2 count. And then this is where the match goes the opposite way. Shawn takes a horrible back bump And we know the history with Shawn Michaels in his back. And Logan Paul zeroed in on that back. And that would actually aid him in being able to shock the world here in Cleveland and pick up a win against one of the greatest of all time, Shawn Michaels. The fans in Cleveland not happy to see Logan get the win, but the record books will show Logan Paul defeated Shawn Michaels. Then we had the WWE United States Championship on the line. Solo Sikoa taking on Bobby Lashley. Now, there is some history between these two and the United States Championship. Solo Sikoa, a former two-time U.S. champ, began his second reign by taking the title from Lashley. And then, coincidentally, that second reign would come to an end when Lashley would win that title back. But that was all the way back at the end of year one in our universe, right around WrestleMania season. And it's been a long time since Solo Sikoa has been able to call himself a champion. And right now, the Bloodline looking really good. He's really the only one in that stable outside of Jacob Fatu to not hold a championship. Lashley almost putting him away there with a spear. Would drop him down on the apron and then send him into the steps. And he'd get in just in the nick of time and earn himself a count-out victory. Bobby Lashley still your WWE United States Champion. Then we would see two guys from WCW go head-to-head. AJ Styles taking on LA Knight. Both of these guys definitely want to, we know AJ's history as champion and his history with Ray and the LWO. LA Knight, fairly new to WCW, came over in the last draft. He wants to get into that main event scene. He wants to get in the mix with Rey Mysterio. Remember, the tail end of his time in WWE, his last few months, he goes from winning the Royal Rumble, main eventing WrestleMania, and winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, only to lose it a month later at Backlash. And just because he's the new kid in school, he's the new guy in the WCW, he's not looking to just hang back and kind of work his way in. He's looking to jump straight to the top because that's where he left in his time in the WWE. He would hit a BFT and cover AJ. Would not be enough to put Styles away. AJ missing there, and LA Knight thinking he's going to be able to take advantage, but he was unable to. AJ eventually able to get the pin and walk out of Cleveland with the victory. Hell of a match between these two. Probably not the last time we're going to see them in the ring. Then we would have a flashback to SummerSlam 1996 right here in Cleveland. The Boiler Room Brawl between Mankind and The Undertaker. And when Mick Foley came into the WWE, the WWF at the time, his first big feud was with The Undertaker. It's really what kind of catapulted him and his career to the next level. Obviously, we know a few years down the road where the Mankind character goes, where Mick Foley goes, the successes that he does have, but this feud really kind of helped establish him and put him on the map. And he and The Undertaker had some battles. One of the more memorable things to come out of this Boiler Room Brawl, we would see Paul Bearer turn on The Undertaker and join forces with Mankind. While this one may not be the most famous match in the storied rivalry between The Undertaker and Mankind, still up there. Still a great match. But we didn't go to Pittsburgh this year. So maybe next summer, if the Great American Bash rolls through Pittsburgh, we can relive Hell in a Cell all over again. Then in our main event, Lyra Valkyria with her huge opportunity at the WCW Women's Championship and Charlotte Flair. Again, Flair coming in. She's fresh. Lyra had to earn her way in that elimination gauntlet match earlier to kick off the show. And in all honesty, after the initial attack by Charlotte right off the bat going for the cover, she's been in championship matches. This is nothing new to her. After this initial attack, Lyra kind of settles down, and it almost kind of looked like we were going to have an upset to end the night. I don't know, maybe Charlotte came in kind of maybe underestimating Lyra a little bit. Lyra had her way with the Queen, sending her into the ring post. Lyra looked to put Charlotte away with the frog splash, but Charlotte able to move out of the way, and that mistake was able to be capitalized by the veteran Charlotte Flair, who leaves Cleveland still your WCW Women's Champion. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't want to miss what happens next, be sure to subscribe and like, and we'll see you guys next time from Detroit.